Hi Pisces, welcome to your October reading. My name is Linda. Thanks so much for tuning in. So I've already put down your cards here, and it looks like there's some changes in the home. Mostly I'm seeing that, changes in the home or some issues in a relationship where there could be some, it doesn't feel like conflict necessarily, but there could be some changes that are happening. Like there's some instability there with the Four of Wands in reverse as the crossing card. Sorry, the Four of Wands is the first card of the spread. It's the theme of the reading. And the crossing card is the Two of Cups. So, and with the Ten of Cups also in reverse in the outcome position of this reading, along with this Five of Cups, it does kind of feel like there could be some unhappy time at home, or maybe a breakup energy in this spread. If you're a single person, this might not actually be a reading for you. So what I feel here in this energy is that this is a challenging time for you. You have both the Hierophant and the Strength card across the central axis of the reading. The Strength is the crowning card, kind of saying that you are going to need, to dig deep during this time to deal with the circumstances that you have in front of you, that it is not necessarily an easy moment. You're going to need to be emotionally, physically, mentally strong through this time to process the energy that you have in front of you. The Hierophant in the foundation of the reading in the upright is talking about this being a time where there is a deep spiritual learning going on. Or that, how do I say that differently? Like you're learning a lot right now, and you may be having some difficult experiences in the mundane reality, but it's actually serving you very well in terms of your spiritual evolution and your development on a personal and spiritual level. So, yeah, you have what it takes to get through this time. And yes, there may be some emotional disappointments. It may even be that it's very hard to move on or walk away from something that you maybe or are already aware is necessary to do so. Like if there's some attachments there that you might find this even more difficult to move on, because the Eight of Cups is in reverse here, and the Three of Cups. Okay, if you're a single person, this is not a love reading for you. With the Three of Pentacles here, we could be talking about a collaborator or your work. It could be about your work. Maybe you have lost your job, or you're changing the way that you work with the people that are in your collaborative team, if that's applicable for you. But if this is about like home life and a relationship that is changing course, maybe you didn't see it coming, or for some of you, like with the Nine of Wands here in the recent past position of this reading, you may have been enduring difficult circumstances in your relationship for a little while, and maybe you've been trying to work things out, you've been perseverant, you've been endurant, you've been doing your best to contribute as much as you can to continue to keep things afloat and keep things working and viable. But it seems like at this time, and I'm actually not really seeing another person in this reading. Normally then there would be another archetypal energy that would stand out in the spread as being the person that you're dealing with here, but I don't really see the other person. They might have already left, or they might not just be, they just may not be featuring so strongly in how you are moving forward from here, because there is a sense of loss and disappointment with the Five of Cups in the outcome of the reading. Also the Ten of Cups and the Eight of Cups. All the Cups energy in this reading, little challenging. There's some sadness, I feel. And a little bit of attachment too with this Eight of Cups in reverse. When the Eight of Cups is upright, it still can be a little challenging energy, but it's more like you are choosing to go on a quest because you have dug deep and you've already attained certain amount of things, or emotionally and spiritually, that leads you to understand that there's more knowledge to gain, or there's more wisdom and more experience to be had, and so you take that quest on willingly. When the Eight of Cups is in reverse, it can sometimes show that you have attachments, and that it's, even though you know it's time to move on, or that not even that you know it's time to move on, but the circumstances have shown themselves that something has ended and it's time to continue onward in a different direction. But your attachments to that thing make it very difficult to move ahead. So be mindful about that. And if you are feeling that way, if there is attachment, if there is especially emotional attachment, a lot of the work to be done here is in the area of acceptance. Simply accepting that the circumstances have changed, that the situation looks different, and that the best you can do to move forward here is stop trying to make things go back to the way they were. see the opportunity that's in front of you here for something new to begin, for a change. Probably a well-needed change, I would say. Maybe for some of you there's been some stagnant energy for a while and maybe you haven't addressed it. And here is an opportunity for a new beginning. And again, if this is a work reading for you, if this is not about a romance thing, you could be seeing here that there is a new job offer nearby, or that you're creating your own opportunity by either starting your own business or using skills that you already have to start a side hustle or something along those lines. But there's definitely potential energy for a new beginning. But with this, the Seven of Wands in reverse, Eight of Cups in reverse, there is a need for you to accept and understand that there's nothing to fight back against. It's important to just go with what's happening, go with the changes that are occurring, and be, as much as you can, graceful in moving forward with the changes, and not forcing yourself into a position where you're enhancing the difficulty and the struggle by refusing to accept that the changes have already occurred. In the hopes and fears position, you have the Chariot and the Six of Pentacles, both in reverse. So this is interesting energy. Again, I would say, don't fight against the changes that are happening. Like, see that the direction has changed, see that the energy has shifted, see that there's new potential opening for you, and be as graceful as you can to move in the flow with that direction. Move ahead and strive to, accept that the changes have already occurred, and that the best thing that you can do for yourself is to accept and move forward. There's no going back here. The Six of Pentacles in reverse, it seems like probably the dynamic that you're in was not very balanced. It was not very fair. There wasn't a lot of reciprocity. Even if you have attachment to a person, I feel that it's important to acknowledge if there's been an unhealthy, codependent connection with someone. And if they're the one that has chosen to move on, even though it might be painful now and there is this experience of loss and disappointment, it's also important to understand that there is protection in that. Like, there is like vibrational, like resonant energy working on your behalf to kind of help you see that if there's been a connection that's not been sustainable or healthy or supportive for you, that person moving on is actually beneficial to you, even if there's pain in the moment when it happens. So yeah, strength is required for you to move forward with, again, grace, with dignity, with self-respect, to gain more confidence that you have what it takes to move through this challenging time. And in the outcome, you have this the Fool in reverse with the Ten of Cups in reverse. So Ten of Cups we've covered. There's definitely sadness in this reading, I feel that. But the Fool in the reverse position here, I feel like you might need a little bit more time to grieve, perhaps, your situation. But just be careful that you don't indulge too long in that energy, because it will make it much more difficult over time to actually embody the energy of the Ace of Pentacles and the Fool upright, where you are able to transition and move forward and pivot into new energy and create new opportunities and be available to opportunities that are coming towards you, like the Fool is, with trust, with optimism, with hopefulness, with an awareness that everything is correct and right as it is. Like, the changes that have occurred, while they may have been difficult in a moment, is actually beneficial to you if you look at it in the right way. So sure, take some time to have your emotional purging and healing time, and be in a space of acknowledging the sadness that you feel, but make sure that you don't get caught too long in that process and become indulgent and stuck and trapped in that energy, and make it harder for yourself to move forward and actually access the opportunities that are showing up for you, because you're too much in this sort of head down emotional energy of being sad and grieving. So to bottom of the deck, we have Two of Wands. There's Five of Pentacles, so 2 5s now. There's the High Priestess in reverse, and the King of Swords is upright. So this is saying to me that it almost feels like with the Two of Wands in reverse there, that the situation you're in right now might have been on the decision of another person, and that their decision has maybe affected your self-esteem. It may have also affected your actual financial security. But what's important about the Five of Pentacles here, also the Five of Cups, it's like, it's really important that you don't base your value or your worth on the way other people see you. And that's probably the deepest lesson of all that's available to you in this reading. But, you know, like you might need a little bit of time to see that. But it's important right now not to let a rejection or someone turning away from you affect your sense of self-worth and self-esteem, because it's not that. It's not based on another person's feelings towards you at all. It's about how you see yourself. So that might be, as I said, the hardest lesson in here for you. And hopefully in time you will be able to, with the help of, you know, your own personal courage and strength and pride, that you can gain more self-love and more self-confidence, so that that moments like that are not as painful and not as drawn out as it might be at this moment for you in this current situation. Now, the Priestess reversed and the King of Swords is interesting. This is telling me that this is a very deep learning for you in terms of truth and understanding, and also intuition. This also could be a time where you are learning how to communicate better about those intuitive things that you're feeling. This King of Swords could also be a new person that could be coming in. You remember I said in the beginning there, I can't really see a person in this reading, but this feels like a new person that could be coming through in the not too distant future. This extended part of the reading could be, you know, someone coming in the next little while, maybe maybe the next 4 weeks, possibly. But don't clutch onto that as something to motivate you to move through this time. It needn't be. It ought not be. This time is simply for you to, as I said, process your emotional energy and be in a space of acceptance and understanding of what's happened, of the turn of events that have happened, and not victimize yourself, not get stuck too long in grief or in sadness or feeling too shitty about yourself for too long. Also, not get too stuck on the person or whatever it is that's leaving your energy that you have attachments to. Strive very hard to release those attachments, to let go of that thing or that person, so that you're not stuck in the past, and that you're able to access the fresh energy that's coming in towards you, and that you're able to use your energy, your vision and your will and your inspiration to channel forward new ideas of new things that you would want to seek to move towards, new projects, new manifestations, new creative ideas, and new experiences that you wish to experience, right? So make sure you're doing your kind of spiritual housekeeping in terms of your emotional energy, and not bypassing it all, of course. Like there is definitely sadness here to process. What I'm saying is, don't get caught in that too long, and don't let another person's decision impact your self-esteem so much to the point that you're debilitated. Because that doesn't need to be what this is about. Okay? Don't struggle against the circumstances that are occurring. As I've said before already in this reading several times, strive to be graceful, strive to work with the changes that are occurring. Of course, there's going to be emotional energy to deal with. Just don't get stuck there too long. And don't let your inner dialogue, you know, beat yourself up in a way that it debilitates you, that diminishes your self-esteem and your self-love. Do the opposite. You need to give yourself a lot of positive reinforcement. You need to speak to yourself with a lot of love and compassion. You need to motivate and inspire. And that can only come from within you. If you're going to wait for someone else to show up to give you that inspiration, you'll be disappointed again. All right, I feel like that's it for the general reading. Let me just check over here. Definitely a lot of learning at this time. I think you're learning a lot about yourself, most of all. And maybe there's also maybe a little bit of energy in this reading about learning how to, you know, perceive someone early on. Like maybe you had some intuition or some red flags about this person in the beginning, and you might have ignored all of that because you just wanted what you thought was there, but wasn't actually what was there. It was what you were projecting onto it because of your desires, or of your your desires and your needs, right? So that could be something also in this reading that's very helpful to help see, for you to check yourself and be aware of how much you may be ignoring your intuition about people and ending up in situations where things are painful, but they need not be if you had have seen what was actually really there from the beginning, and not ignored what your intuition was telling you just because you want what you wanted, what you wanted to see instead of what was actually really there. All right, Pisces, I'm going to move on now to your higher octave spread. So with the Voyager deck, we're going to take a look at another layer on this energy to see what additional insight we can gain about the karmic and spiritual forces that are at play here. We're also looking to see if we can illuminate any more blind spots to get more insight and more like revelation on how you've actually been creating the situation that you're in, so that you can become more aware. Hopefully we can also gain some practical insight and wisdom from your guides and from your higher self about how best to work with this energy to make the most out of the lessons that you have in front of you right now. So make sure you send your energy into the cards while I'm shuffling. I'll give it one more. And let's take a look. So at the bottom of the deck we have Two of Wands in reverse, which is the same card that we had here. So again, I feel like there's this energy here of someone else making a decision and it impacting you. Three of Wands, crossed by the Moon reversed. There's the Four of Swords reversed, Temperance reversed, Six of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Eight of Crystals, Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Swords reversed, Emperor reversed. There's the Fool, Man of Wands in reverse, Five of Pentacles reversed, and the Child of Crystals. Okay. So in this energy, I do feel like there is some, like this, the opportunity that's available for you is to really see some of those things that I spoke about there. Like there's some shadow aspects coming up, for like elements of things that you may not have been aware of certain types of behaviors or patterns, or maybe even conditions that you find yourself in, or the type of people that you feel that you're attracting into your life. You might be starting to see some patterns emerging here that's helping you locate the source of where some of those unconscious motivations and desires are actually creating certain circumstances for you to live out certain patterns that are designed by you, in fact, to help you understand what it is that you need to unravel. It's kind of like some reverse engineering that needs to go on here. And in doing so, it's through this process of doing this kind of shadow work that you get to see where you have been self-sabotaging, or where you've been limiting, or where you've been, getting affirmation about your insecurities, right, through the way other people behave towards you as a result of the energy that you are transmitting. So there is an opportunity here for a lot of liberation from some of those things by learning, by being able to be humble enough to be aware of those things and pay attention to them so that you can actually affect change on them and disrupt those patterns. More self-love, of course, always. In this reading, you have the Nine of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles, both speaking about, as I was saying earlier, like your value, your self-worth, your self-esteem, your self-love, and that being exactly all of those things. Self, it's generated by the self for the self. It's not about someone else's, the way someone else behaves towards you, being able to affect that, or being able to define that or decide that. Okay. What else is here? I do see that there's this man of wands here, the King of Wands in reverse in this reading. I do feel like this is now, I feel like a person. Before, remember I said I couldn't really see a person in this reading. Now I feel like this person, there could be an energy of some dishonesty of a person around you. But again, I feel like it's specifically by design, by your own, like your own, as you're growing in your awareness, as you're becoming more awake, and you're becoming more of a witness to your own self so that you can understand what the fuck is going on. You start to see now how, as I said, there's certain kind of people that show up. There's certain kind of circumstances that show up. There's certain kind of, events that occur that are, you're able to see the common thread. Like, what is the pattern? Like, what is the pattern here? And how does that information give you insight into what it is that you believe to be true that you're not aware of you believing to be true? So there's some of that in this reading as well. There's also, like, again, you had the Fool in the outcome in the last reading. It's also in this reading. You have the Fool with the Emperor reversed. So definitely new beginnings here for you. There's some changes. There's transitional energy in this reading. But it's coming through some awakening that may be a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, but very, very good for you in terms of you becoming much more empowered in your life and in the circumstances that you decide and that you define and that you, initiate through what type of energy you actually transmit and broadcast. So I'm going to go into this in much further detail in the Higher Octave reading. You can click the link in the description below if you're interested. It's been an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Please, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you in the next reading. Thanks so much.